As mentioned, we have our own Congressman Dan Meuser. Well, the only one we count anyway. We've got a few of them, and he is joined by House Minority Whip Stephen Scalise. Gentlemen, how are you?
Bob, great to be with you. Hey, Bob, great to be with you and with Dan.
Now, first of all, Representative Scalise, I want to commend you. Obviously, I never got to talk to you after that horrific shooting at the ball field years ago. I was talking about it earlier on the show. When you came back to the floor of the House, and the courage you showed throughout, all of it came through all at once. I was bawling like a child. It was just so inspiring, and I don't think I was the only one. I'm welling up thinking about it now. So I just want you to know how much we honor you here. And we love the fact that you're Italian, too. There's a lot of Scalises around here.
Hey, Bob, look, first of all, thanks for that. It was an unbelievably magical day. I mean, special to be able to get back to work when I didn't even know if I was going to make it out of the hospital. But, to go and see so many of the people that helped me through, the Capitol Police who took the shooter down, and, my wife was there, doctors who kind of treated me. I mean, it was just a treat to be able to come back and then share with everybody what's great about this country. On the Italian-American side, so, Bob, you and me, we've got a friend in Joe Piscopo, who's a radio guy, too.
Yes.
I get to do his show every now and then. He's out of New York. I mean, you talk about a guy who loves our Italian heritage.
He is great. He is great. And post note on it, just to continue the complimentary vein. The way you've handled yourself since, I didn't hear you running around whining about, oh, my God, I got shot at. You just went and did it. You did the Gary Cooper thing. So you're so far up on my hierarchy, I can't say enough about you. So it's great to have you with us.
Look, when you get a second chance at life like I did, there were miracles on that ball field that day. And, I'm lucky to be alive, but I'm going to make the most out of it. And I tell you what, Dan and I have been working on a lot of things. We're working to get this country back on track, and we got to put everything we have into it. And there's so many people around the country that have the same love for this country and are just angry that it's being destroyed right now and want to do something about it. Luckily, we have that opportunity in November to flip the House, to fire Nancy Pelosi. Dan's got some great legislation on immigration to figure out what's really going on and put a stop to all the madness on the border crisis. Biden won't do any of this stuff, but, we want to get the House back to be able to start pushing back.
Well, Congressman Scalise, Congressman Meuser, we had the pleasure and the fortune, because of our audience, to be able to catch ghost flights coming into Wilkes-Barre Scranton International Airport. And with the help of Dan Meuser and your former colleague, Lou Barletta, we exposed it to the country. And now everybody's doing it, which is good. We're exposing them. Unfortunately, now they're flying them one by one out of Texas to different locations. And Dan, you've got legislation. I know that's what you guys are on to talk about today. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, sure. And Bob, just real quick, I appreciate your words and background on Whip Scalise here. Not only has he become a great friend, he's really just an incredible leader here. And we win this majority back, he's going to be in the top echelons. And I'll tell you what, the man's fearless. The book is called, by the way, and I highly recommend it. I read it as soon as I got into Congress. It's called Back in the Game. And it's really a book of miracles. People will really appreciate buying it. And you know what? Anybody needs one, I'll be the first to show you how to get it, or I'll send you one.
Well, you promised me a copy, but I want it autographed now, because I have a special section of my library that has the autographed book. So Scalise has to autograph it for me.
But look, we've talked enough about the serious subject of this open border policy of Biden's, how he reversed the Trump policies, implemented this Title 42, reversed Remain in Mexico, implemented and adopted catch and release. So, I mean, we've been issuing amicus briefs. I mean, we got the Supreme Court to eventually overturn Biden's being against the asylum in Mexico. position and policy. So we did get some of those things done, but the problem still exists. We've got tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of illegals coming across, and this is just a treacherous situation. Young people dying along the way, being abused, all kinds of drugs. You know as well as I know the overdose fatalities in Pennsylvania is higher by far than ever. Fentanyl just crossing the border. So yeah, we've got some legislation here that Steve is supporting, and it's about us being notified, relevant elected officials. But as important, it's about us knowing who the sponsors are that these minors are going. Because I think I mentioned to you one time when I was at the border, and I've been there several times, as has Whip Scalise here. But when I have a CBP, Customs Border Patrol, look me in the eye and say sometimes when they're reading an address or a phone number off of a minor's arm and saying sometimes they feel as if they're a chain, a link in the chain of human trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
We need to know where these people are going, and the taxpayers deserve to know.
There's no doubt about that. Representative Scalise, now, you've been following this issue among many others. I mean, it's like a fire a day with these nutcases that are running the House, the Senate, and the White House. Tell me where your focus is when it comes to the illegal immigration issue.
Well, Bob, there's so many different elements of this, and I think the fact that, number one, people are really paying attention to it all around the country because every town is now a border town. When they're flying people to Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, it's happening in your town. It's not just in Texas. But I went down to the border months ago. I actually got to embed with our Border Patrol agents down along the Rio Grande River in Texas. They took us to the Donna Detention Facility where they're bringing a lot of these. It was thousands of kids that they were bringing. But what's the most alarming, and this is where everybody in America ought to be concerned, and Dan's been all over this, is the drugs and the human trafficking that's coming across because of this. They've turned operational control of America's southern border over to the drug cartels. It's an alarming thing to say that the drug cartels are controlling our southern border, and we've actually figured out the Biden administration will not be transparent about this, but we've identified that there are people who are on the terrorist watch list who have been caught coming across our border. They won't tell us how many. I mean, frankly, every American should want to know and deserves to know how many people on the terrorist watch list did they catch, let alone how many came across that we didn't catch. But they're bringing fentanyl. Fentanyl has killed 100,000 young people last year in America. Everybody that you talk to knows somebody who's died from fentanyl drug overdoses. Guess where it's coming from? Across the southern border, because Biden turned control of our southern border over to the drug cartels.
And Congressman, should that be any surprise? Because he turned security in Afghanistan at the Hamid Karzai International over to the Taliban. I mean, it's a pattern.
Terrorist organization, and gave them $85 billion of the world's best military technology. We're going to, look, we get the majority back. You know, I know Dan's going to be all over this. We're going to be having hearings to find out exactly what they gave to the Taliban and who was involved in that decision-making process. Who's involved in the decision-making process at the border? How many terrorists have come across our southern border, and why aren't they enforcing the law? There's going to be a lot of accountability in addition to legislation we passed to work on fixing this.
Well, Congressman Meuser, tell us, what can we do? What can the people in Northeast Pennsylvania do to help you with this bill?
Well, you know, continue to be alert to the issues as people are. I think they're very informed and they're very energetic about about us, you know, winning back, right? I mean, putting those into office, and yes, there are Republicans that are fighting for them, that are fighting for America, and along the way, any Democrats in the House weigh in with them as to in Pennsylvania or anywhere as to that they need to support securing the border. Yes, support this bill, but frankly, more importantly, right, is to get to the root cause, and that's the policy of the Biden administration in allowing the border to remain open, enforcing Title 42, and going back to remain in Mexico. And there's other bills as well. We want to strengthen the Customs and Border Patrol. But yeah, get this. I mean, what they're doing to work their terrible policy because the border is so overwhelmed. You broke the story, actually, Bob, with these secret flights coming in. But coming in the middle of the night, I'm now told, just yesterday, by a airport official, that flights are coming in, lights off. Now, it's been about a month. Lights are off. The windows are shut down, so there's few lights. Airport personnel is being told to go home, so they have as minimal as possible. The buses are no longer waiting at the tarmac. They're waiting around the corner at a local gas station. I know exactly where that would be, at a truck stop. And look, none of this is the local folks' fault. I mean, this is the Biden administration directing the Department of Homeland Security and HHS. And I was also told that it's not just kids, not just young people.
Well, not at all. Yeah.
Latest flights, adults as well.
Well, we could tell Kamala Harris, if either of you talk to the vice president, we can let her know the root cause of this migration into this country. It's that this country's great. And actually, the sad part is they're working on the root cause because they're trying to destroy our greatness. People won't want to come here after they're done. Representative Scalise.
Here to be part of the greatness. They're coming here to bring drugs and human trafficking into our country. And look, we've got a legal way. America, let's be clear about this. America is the most generous nation in the world for letting people into our country. 1 million people get to legally come to America every year from countries all around the world. But there's a legal process. And you should wait in line like everybody else. People wait years sometimes to come to America, and they're insulted by the fact that somebody's going to jump ahead of them and just cross over to tonight across the Rio Grande, be given a plane ticket by Joe Biden, and go to Pennsylvania. Who knows what other states they're being sent to? And the next day they're in America while you've been waiting legally for 5 years to come here. That's what I think irritates people who came here legally through our immigration system. So we've got to get back to rule of law. We're a country of laws. Absolutely, we're a country of immigrants, but we're also a country of laws, and that's what Joe Biden seems to want to forget.
Well, I know you gentlemen have to get back to work. I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to be with me. Representative Stephen Scalise, House Minority Whip. His book is Back in the Game. It is inspiring. It's tingling. It's just that good. But Back in the Game is the book. Representative Dan Meuser, Representative Scalise, thank you so much for being with us.
Great being with you, Bob. Thanks, Bob.
All
God
right.
bless.